today I'm back with another video. I am doing another podcast. I have my stepdad's his neighbor. I have my brother, and I have my stepdad Claire Bear on here today. So I just wanted to do a little podcast. Just have all men today, and we're gonna be talking about just life. And it's like I said in the beginning, this is gonna be raw, uncut, and it's gonna be the real. So we're gonna be talking about a lot of different things today. So I first want to make sure that I let everyone give like a little brief introduction of themselves. So we could go and start with Mr. Damon. If you could just tell the people who you are.
My name is Damon Culberson. That's it. Straight to the point. Let's go.
All right.
There's Duckworth. Are we supposed to do like a bio?
Nah, she ain't saying all that. She just introduced
I am not Claire Bear. I am Mr. Russell.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm weak.
Money there, Russell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell them about what's behind you right there?
Oh, you know what?
How would you do
That's
that?
the Broncos right there, y'all. Denver Broncos for life. Get on the bandwagon. Hit me up. CR3 repair at yahoo.com. Anytime. I do HVAC. I do appliance repair. Any needs. Hit me up. Okay?
Yeah, y'all do that. Y'all do that. Make
Five
sure
star.
y'all do it. It's gonna be right here in the
Five
link.
star.
Just make sure y'all do that. Go book them. If you in Arkansas.
It don't
No,
matter.
we're traveling.
You know what?
You going? Wait, you coming to Texas?
I need that paper.
Hey,
let's
money
do this.
talk. Okay, cool. So, like y'all know, got the book. Yeah, we got the book. And the book is about servant leadership. So I'm just going to be asking a few questions about just a lot of different things and how the things that you do every single day in your life and how it applies to servant leadership and how leadership is just implemented in your life all the time. So I'll just ask a couple questions and then we'll just go from there and let the conversation flow.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So the first question is, as a man, how do you think it relates to being a leader?
Dez, handle it. I think Dez could do good with this.
I just think if you go from a biblical standpoint, we as men were not only designed but ordained to be the head, which is referencing about the lead of our families. So by nature, we were created to lead, and so in everything that we do, I think we always trying to find some way to lead or problem solve or just things of that nature, and I just think it's just designed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You want some of that D? You want me to get it?
No, he hit every point I was going to hit, biblical wise, that it's in the Bible that the man is supposed to be the head of the household and be like strong enough to take care of the family and protect. We're here to protect, so yeah.
Okay, Claire Bear. Yeah, I call him Claire Bear.
Well, me, y'all know I always take another approach, right? Me, leaders is just not household. It's anywhere you go. I mean, when you step out, you go to the grocery store, you see somebody doing wrong, you step in and say, hey man, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this a different way. Cause you're gonna get in trouble, da 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 da. And I just think every step you step should be a leadership for a man.
And then another thing is say somebody who don't have a father figure or
Good
missing
point.
some type of parent or guardian, you can step up that way by taking in that child or whatever.
Like Dice.
I just about to say that.
Yeah.
Up under your wing. So
Yeah.
It's many ways that you can show leadership, but
Yeah, I think that's a good point too. You know, how important do you think, okay, just me as a woman, you know, have you ever been in relation or even just in community with a woman or even a man that doesn't have a male figure in their life? Can you see the difference in how?
Wait, repeat that? I'm sorry.
So, being in relation or in community or anything with a woman who doesn't have that male figure in their life, like the absence of it, you know, how do you see that show up in a woman or a man without, you know, like with that presence not being there? You know what I mean? Like, how do you see it? And then, how do you see that in that woman or a
Can I ask
man?
one question? Are you speaking to, is there kids or that woman herself?
I think she's speaking to all aspects.
Like all aspects, like kids, women, like adults, teenagers.
Well, like I think when she said community, I think she even talking about like, say if you out somewhere and you see somebody, you know, man and a woman with each other. I guess she's basically saying, how can you identify the absence of masculinity or that masculine figure in that person's life?
Yeah.
That man is being a leader
That
and that
he's
woman
that-
not running over him?
Well,
That what you're saying?
no, like I'm just saying, like, okay, maybe let me rephrase the question. Okay, what characteristics do you see in a young man and in a young woman where you can say, oh, there's absence of a man in their life?
I don't really necessarily think that you can. I mean, yeah, pretty much 80% of the time you can, but then also you also got to look at the point that some people have been hurt or been through some type of trauma, and they could have had that male or that female figure in their life. So you really can't just base everything on absence. They could have all of that. They can have the right. Basically, really, it's the foundation. And a lot of these days, the foundation has been lost. You know, like back when we was coming up, we had to go to church and you know all that. Now that's no more foundation no more. Everybody don't go to church no more, and like they took it out of school. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's more so like when you think of. I mean, I agree with Damien, because like when you think of what makes a man, right? A man is built on character, purpose, and love, right? Which was demonstrated by Jesus, right? And you have a lot of men who have their fathers in their lives who don't operate in masculine energy.
Right.
And I didn't really start seeing that until I became an adult and I started really interacting with other men as peers. You know what I'm saying? And so I think for that question, it's really kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Because you can have a dad in your life who.
is he present?
Yeah.
Is he there? I mean, he could be there physically,
Yeah.
but is he there? You know, mentally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think.
spiritually. and all
Because,
that.
like, for example, this dude I work with, his dad was there with him his whole life. But his dad never really provided him any structure, any discipline.
No love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess his dad loved him or whatever, but, you know, his dad was just kind of free all out there. And he turned around and became the same man that his dad was by nature, you know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I think in order to be a good man, per se, I'm assuming that's what we're talking about,
Yeah.
it has to have a certain level of intentionality to it.
Right.
And some men have fathers who don't provide that for them.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. And then the next question, because it made me think of it when you said what you said, it was like, how important do you think it is to have the balance of, like you said, being present, but also still providing? And because like I know me and Dez was talking about this like a couple of days ago. I was just saying like a lot of times men they want to provide for their families and they want to like financially and work in that, but also too sometimes they can take them away from the house. So how do you balance that out as a man, or the things that you learn from like either overworking or even sometimes maybe you could have underworked or something, just can you talk about that?
I mean, in the Bible, it says basically a man who doesn't provide for his family is worse than a non-believer. And so I think as being a man, the well-being of the household relies on your shoulders, right? So I feel like it has to be up to a point to where it's like whatever you have to do to get the job done, I think that's what's necessary. But I do feel if you have the means or infrastructure set up to where you can provide, then you just intentionally neglecting your family's internet quality time for greed or just lust of money. Then I think that's where you miss out on those important things. But if you got to work long hours or whatever, I think that's what's necessary.
But another topic I want to talk about, bring up is a lot of times, back in the day, the government kind of, and as far as our culture, they took the men out the household.
Right.
You know what I mean? As far as like the government housing and stuff like that. So it's a lot of men that wanted to be there and raise their kids, but they got pushed out. So it's something that we gotta rebound and come back as a society as a whole.
What's your thought about that, Clarence?
Yeah.
With me, it's in my situation, it's my rock. My wife gonna hold it down. When I'm out busting my butt, doing what I gotta do, she gonna make sure that it's easier, better. When I come home, I don't have to do this, do that, da. I come home, get my little meditation in for about an hour, and I'm back. And then she can fill me in with like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that, this, or she don't already took care of it.
It's important. Good one.
You know what I'm saying? So with me on my end, I need a rock because the jobs and stuff I do takes a lot of study, thinking, and mentally, physically, I be beat someday. Just drained.
Yeah,
And
dangerous. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Make sure that everything is good. When I come on, I don't have to just be doing this, and that. It's good. I'm set. So I'm gonna say my rock. I need my rock. I need like Batman need a Robin. Somebody needs somebody.
Right.
Yeah, I understand. But
So really what you're saying is double hard for the man. Because first of all, he's going to try to wine and dine you because he like you. But he don't even know in return that you really feeling him.
yeah.
Right.
And then you got to meet all the expectations and the standards.
All of this and that, then all of a sudden you like, nah, you ain't.
Because you look at the dichotomy of
I mean,
relationships back in the day, what we referenced, right? Women were happy with their husband going to the manufacturing plant and busting his tail and working 12, 13 hours. Or if he worked at the post office, or if he worked,
Yeah.
And that was the stability that they needed, knowing that my man do this, and like parents say, I'm going to be his rock at either the home or I'm going to go out in the field and work just like he do. But I think now women kind of look for their men in the wrong places and ignore all the other men.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they don't give the men, like there are some good men that don't make probably as much money. You know what I'm saying? But just for me and my expectation is I just want somebody to be able to just take care of themselves. That's it. Because I think if we come together, we can help each other to grow.
You can
And
build.
we can build on top of that, but I just need to know that you are hardworking and that you can just take care of yourself. That's it. You know what I mean?
World, she a good one. Come get her.
LOL.
Come
But
go.
honestly, though, my opinion, just from my perspective as a man, if you're a woman and you're only, it's like, I think you should only be able to take care of yourself. I think you are essentially not asking for a man. Because that's not a man's job to just take care of himself. By nature, we are designed to take care of our woman. We're designed to take care of our kids. That's spiritually, emotionally, financially, physically. And so if you say, I'm just looking for a man to take care of himself, then you neglect the leadership and guidance that you need from the head of the household, and you depriving him of his design assignment from God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I didn't mean it that way. But,
Well, no, that could be a
I
2020.
think you probably meant like
That could be a 2020.
Yeah, I think he like if he can't take care of himself, how can he provide? Take care and provide from on a consistent
Well,
basis.
I'm gonna step in and say this part. Say she making 200,000 a year, he making for 70.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and also
He might not have the financial means to really give her
yeah,
the support,
and-
but he giving all he can, but he can't top that
Yeah.
200.
No.
yeah.
So
That's good.
Because I think a lot of
You know.
times, this is a question I have for you as a man. Can you be with a woman that does make that much more money than you?
I could,
yeah, I'm cool.
yes, sir.
Like could your
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah? Because I mean, I know some men they can't. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's
That's
childish.
That's a
But
pride thing.
Yeah.
That's a flaw.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, my loyalty, my love, honesty, respect, caring, I'm good.
yeah,
If I see that, we good. We rocking.
Yeah.
It ain't like I'm out here, my little 70,000, she making 200, and I'm blowing it.
yeah,
No, take my coins. Do what you gotta do.
mm-hmm.
Just give me whatever. I'm good.
Yeah.
I can live.
yeah,
You know.
But if you're looking at money as to determine to measure how much of a man you are,
Yeah,
you already off.
Yeah.
You're already off mentally.
yeah. Seriously, yeah. Yeah, that's true. So the next question that I had was, work. Like, what were the biggest challenges that you dealt with as a man, like at work? And how do you think the leadership could have been different in your work environments?
Are you saying like an issue that we had with like our job? Or you
yeah,
saying-
just I mean with
Okay,
any
so
type-
we've
yeah.
been employee.
Are you saying
Yeah,
that
just
before
yeah,
you-
with an
We've
employee.
been employees, so we're employed by somebody. Okay.
Yeah, like
Go
how-
ahead, Liz. Go ahead. It's
Go
on
ahead,
your dome.
the biggest issue I had at work with the job per se is that we talking about? Or are you talking about with ourselves at the job?
both.
I'll take it. Let me have it. Let me take it. I'm gonna take mine.
Okay.
I worked at a factory. If I've done this job 10 plus years, same job, nothing has changed, but you get new ownership and they come trying to tell me something different, I got a problem. I got a problem. I got a problem because for one, it's like I know how the machine works.
Yeah, you don't.
Thank you. All you
Right.
you came in and bought it, whatever. You
just
don't
think
know
everything.
what this machine gonna do. I know what it's gonna take to do to keep the machine going. No shutdowns, nothing. Don't come telling me. If you want to do anything, come ask me. Say, look, what do you think or whatever. Don't come telling me nothing. Because
Right.
I can prove it to you how I can go. Really, I really can. I can shut it down real quick.
Yeah.
So my thing is that was my biggest thing. Come ask me. I know I'm working for you, but still give me respect to say, look, you done your due diligence. You did what it take to do it. I'm
Right.
gonna take your advice. That's me.
Yeah. I wrote about that actually. I wrote about how you should understand that when you become higher in position, that you lose sight of what is like making the business run. You
The
know,
tactical level.
yeah, because it's easy to lose sight of that when you are away from it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so that's what I did. I used to always tell them like, hey, I know that different things the processes are changing constantly. You know, different like new features are being rolled out, and I'm not actively doing that anymore. You know, it has changed. The processes have changed, you know, and I'm just like, you know, I'm not afraid to ask a question.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's important, because you have to be able to ask questions, and you have to be humble enough to say, hey, I don't know what's going on. Can you explain this to me? So that I can, whenever I'm speaking to my leadership, I can be able to speak on your behalf, because of course, like, you're not going to be speaking to the CEO. You know what I'm saying? But the CEO is speaking to me as the liaison between the two. So that's what I wrote about in the book too. And I think a lot of times with companies, they don't do that. They just say, oh, we want to do this, we want to do this, but you don't know how you don't even know how the job is being operated.
Because some jobs, they have like different laws changes every time. You got to stay up on top of that. Like his job, the refrigerant changes, and so he got to know what type of refrigerant. If you're going in there and you're trying to put 4.7 and something that's
410.
yeah, and you know, boom.
Right. What about you? What was your experience?
Man.
Come on, tell them about that truck, man. Tell them about that.
Nah, I ain't gonna talk about the truck and that. That's too long of a talk. We ain't got enough time for that. But I don't know. I just think it's more about numbers to me. People worried about those numbers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you just another number. You know, today you can be good and be the loyal worker, and boom, you got to go. You know what I mean? So let's see. Let's do about military wise. You know, it's about who you know and not what you know. You know what I mean?
How
So
you gonna
can
get
be
it
out
done?
there
How you gonna
slaving.
get it done?
Yeah. So
Yeah, we beat that question.
Yeah. I did talk about that too. Treating people as people and not treating them as a number.
There you go.
You know, and I wrote about that a lot, because I learned that with my subordinates, whenever I was their leadership, when I treated them as people and I actually talked to them, got to know them, asked them about their life. Like if they said, oh, my kid went to a recital because they took off, I'm not going to say, why are you taking off just because I want to know. It's just because I'm like, oh, okay. Then when they come back, I said, hey, how was the recital? You know, they're like, what? You know, and so also too, in return, they work harder for you as their leader.
That's a true statement. I've lived that. I've had several operators. Same machines or whatever. But I had one that he was so cool. So cool. You know, how you doing? What's going on, man? What's up? What you do? Blah, blah, blah. Man, if something went on, I'm busting my butt. I'm busting my butt because I'm going to make sure we're going to get the machine up, going and going and going. And, you know, and what he would do was, for the crew, he would come in someday bringing donuts. Or just his energy was like, look, y'all, we're going to do this, boom, 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 boom. But you got one that's, point.
Yeah.
Buddy, I'm finna go get a cup of coffee. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Right.
You can't wait? No, I can't wait. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
Nah. I'm gonna show you how much you need me. You know, give me a little respect.
I hate when they give you somebody that's a leader and they don't even know what the hell they doing.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. But I think, but also when you don't know what you're doing and you try to act like you do.
Yeah.
Cause me, I'll be like, I tell somebody real quick, you know, I don't know. Can you help me? Or also too, another thing too is like what I would do is if they needed my help, I would help them. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a lot more free time than they did. You know, so I would be like, hey, I'll do this for you, but you know, can you do this for me? You know, so
I'll take I don't know faster than I'll take somebody that act like they know and they go out there and they mess up something, get hurt.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't want to hurt.
Yeah.
facts. Yeah.
And my biggest thing was with the job, with the Air Force. It was just so political. It wasn't about merit. It was always about who butt you could kiss the best.
That's the
You know,
you know,
and it was,
not what you know.
and then you got people in your chain of command who maybe hating on you and trying to strategically destroy you. Like I had that with supervisor, and that really pissed me off. But I think internally, the biggest struggle I've had being an employee is value and time. Like, for example, say you hired me at $50,000 a year. I know even within that position in my role that I'm creating more than $50,000 worth of value. And so it's like, I don't know, I guess it's just a crazy belief of self that I have in the sense of,
You want to know your value of work.
Yeah, I want to determine my own value in my, and then, kind of go back to your other question, is time, right? I know whatever, endeavor that you go into, you're going to have to put in some time to get there. But, for example, Clarence, with his appliance business, me being a realtor, say I could go work a job and say for that day, that job would pay me $250 for the day, right? Clarence could go do, and I got to work 8 hours for that.
Mm-hmm.
Clarence could do 1 or 2 jobs, make $250, and
Right.
then he got time to go and be with kids and wife, and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that concept of trading time for money, and not only trading time for money, but at a value set by somebody else who don't even know me.
Yeah.
They just look at me like Damien said, like a number.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now I don't mind if you start me out $50,000. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be at 50,000 5 years later.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? and I know I'm doing good work and I ain't getting no recognition. Then here come this Joe Blow come in and, I've been there 10 years and he just walked fresh out of school and don't know nothing. Then he coming in and making 60,000. And then next thing he up 65 and I'm still stuck at 50.
Yeah.
Something ain't
And
right.
he just, all they got is an extra year degree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't know nothing, ain't got none of the experience, But hey, I got it, I got you.
Yeah. So, one more question. So, it's one question, but for
Two
different.
parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for y'all two, what do y'all see what's the difference that y'all see in the younger generations that y'all feel that they need, that they're missing right now, based off of what how y'all grew up?
Man.
I'll take it.
Go ahead.
Whoo! Me growing up, buddy, I had to get it. I mean, I'm talking. My family, we were poor. I'm talking food stamp poor. I mean, I'm talking about to the food stamp where you get them out by the little.
The pack that you pull out.
You pull off $1 or whatever, and we doing that, and we fight for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing I hated growing up was I was in a household where I had brothers right before me. I'm hand me down. I'm talking boom, 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 boom. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm tired of this. Look, I want to look sharp like some of the other kids in school, you know, blah, blah. So look, 9th grade, boom, got to work.
Okay, great.
10th grade, boom, working. 11th grade, boom. 12th grade, I never stopped working. Because one thing I wanted to know was I don't want to have to ask mom and daddy for nothing else. Spend y'all money on the other kids. I'm going to take care of me.
Mm.
And that's what I've done from here on out up until where I'm at now. My thing was get the pressure off of my family. If they didn't have it, do it yourself. And that's just my mentality. I want to get it. I want to have it. I want to know it. I don't care if we jumping rope. I want to be the best jump roper there is. You know what I'm saying? I want to be where I can do this and that. And that's my mentality on it.
So,
Yeah, I think more so, if you look, I think as a man, you're supposed to do hard things every day. And I think society, with the advancement of technology and stuff like that, it's been designed in a sense to make everything easier. And as a man, when you kind of get to that place to where you don't want to do the hard things in life, I think that's the biggest difference, because when you look at how, say, Clarence and our elders and stuff was raised, their parents made them do hard things because when they were raised, they had to do hard things. But now, I think our generation, with the advancement of technology and science and everything, our younger generation, like, we don't got to do the hard thing. We can just, you know what I'm saying?
Smart.
Yeah, and then that kind of degrades your integrity to your discipline, and I think that's a big thing. When
that's what you think the biggest
the
difference
integrity
is?
of the discipline.
Cell phone, social media has raised these kids these days. We didn't have all that. And I think the biggest problem these kids these days they have is listening. You know, if you look at it, man, like when our parents, when we was growing up, when they gave you instructions, you had to sit there and listen. If you didn't get something right, that was your, you know what I'm saying? They was on you. These days, these kids, you can give them instructions, man, and tell them how to do it, and they get out there and they like, oh, okay, did you hear what I said? Yeah. They run out there and be lost. Be like, okay, all right, go out there and then do nothing that you instructed them to do. And so, I don't know. Maybe they at a faster pace than we do. They, you know, it's hard for them to slow down, but I just think that's that's one thing I get out of it.
I know another thing too, contributing to that is a lot of single
Home.
family home. You know, is it a single mom or single dad? Because if that mom or whatever got to work all day and, you know, to provide, and that child pretty much like, I'm going to get you on the bus to get you to school, come home, and, you know, I ain't making home to 10 at night, but by that time you sleep. So what? How can I discipline you and I can't even check your homework, what you done did and stuff, because I got to turn around and get right back the next morning. So I think a lot of that's a factor too, just single home, but still, you know, me.
But like, you know what, to say something about this, since you said that, I think we need to get back to what you and your wife doing, how y'all taking in dice.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I thought that was so deep, man, and so cool, man. How, because you don't see that too much these days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everybody, you know, was like, oh, well, they just say something about it and not fix the problem.
Right. That part.
Yeah, and I think kind of what Clarence was saying, right? You have these single family homes with the mother, or I mean, particularly single mother homes, right? As a man has to teach his son how to submit to authority, right?
That's real.
And so when you don't have a man,
Father
a father figure that forces you to get to that place where you do submit to authority, you got the YNs now, you know, running around. They don't listen to nobody, like what Damien was saying. Because, like he said, back in the day, you know, your dad, you know, talk to you, you put a sir on the end of the day, yes. You put a, you know,
Yeah.
you look him in his eye, you do what he say, or you gonna have to deal with the consequences.
Right.
It might be your dad. It could be your mom.
Yeah, it could be your,
Yeah.
or your
Next door
uncle,
neighbor.
Yeah.
or your
Shit,
grandpa.
everybody.
Yeah.
See, it was
Yeah.
what they call
Community.
the village.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It takes a village to raise a child. See,
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
then, that's what it was all about.
Yeah.
Man, you think you getting away with something, next thing you know, you getting hit across your head, you don't even know. It's all about, you know, especially when you in church and you don't know.
No, really. I mean, I remember that as a kid. You know, I remember one time, like, my mom was doing my hair, and my mom was saying something to me, and I just ignored her. And my dad was in the other room, and he heard me, and he heard me ignore. My mom was like, "You hear me talking? You da da da." I just didn't say nothing. So then, next thing you know, I was in my room. Then I was getting a whooping. I was like, "What's going on?" But I think it's just like a fact of, you know, oftentimes, like you said, the lack of that male authority in your house. You don't know how you don't know how to respect people, you know, because like even though my mom didn't enforce that, my dad did. You know what I'm saying, in that moment. So I don't.
It's just something about that masculine
Yeah.
figure and that masculine energy.
But that
It could be the look. My daddy would just he gave me a
Yeah.
look.
right.
Yeah.
I know I'm doing something wrong. I look up at him, he looking at me. I stop.
Yeah.
When mama do it,
You
I'm laughing, like, okay, I'm gonna try this, you know. But
Yeah, cause
daddy, you ain't trying.
yeah, you know, like you a teenage boy, you growing up, and
Yeah.
you know, your
Smelling
mama say
yourself.
you smelling yourself. Your mama say something, you know, you want to talk back. Then, you know, you gotta realize that you are actually less of a man for not being able to submit to the authority of a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you have to have that masculine figure to be like, hey, that's your mama. You gonna respect your mama.
Yes, sir.
Right, so I just want to say thank y'all for coming on the podcast today and supporting me and being able to provide us with some good content. And it's been a great conversation, and I am so grateful that I have you men in my life. It shows me what I need in my life for a good man. It's a good example. But I just want to say, make sure y'all come back. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure you go and book Claire Bear. Say what's your
Hit your
stuff?
boy up. CR3 repair at yahoo.com.
All right,
Hit me up.
CR3.
Anything.
Yep,
5-star.
5-star, whatever you need. But we'll see you back next Sunday, the Lord's Day. Do you hear me? Bet we good now.
I bet you can't do it better than
No.
Hell, I was drinking from the start.
I'm talking about,
Mom, you
I'm
got
finna, I'm finna show the
You gotta
can.
get that
Every
can.
time he do a little pump next to everyone.
He told me he wanted 35
Look, I'll
Per-
buy you a visor.
hour diet. Then you say you want 35 per hour.
No, $37 per hour.
35.
Y'all said 35.
Per hour.
And I told him he wanted 3 hours. 35 hours is what? $1.05.
He gotta know math first before
I
he
just
even
said
play some
35
money.
cents. I said $35.
How you gonna name the price? I'm the employee. We just talked about that.
Hey, Kev, you know your
If a dryer is not heating, what's one of the problems?
Well, you didn't give me time to think.
Okay.
Amen. I know that's right, Dice.
What is the heating element?
Wait, so you said the dryer not. Wait.
Dryer not heating.
The filter.
Jump down.
It's not turned on.
Oh, what 5 times 5? That's
25.
Okay.